Hello everyone, my name is Keith Chen. My topic is about the moderation effect of minoritized students' civic activism of online participation on the relationship between their self-perception, civic awareness of online participation, civic engagement, and identity. Online social media platforms emerge as the dominant form of communication environment. The research issue is that there are increasing studies exploring the influence on the change of the social and civic value of young people, but systematic studies exploring the relationship between the impact of online social platforms and the contributing factors are very few, especially in the case for minoritized students in Hong Kong. To tackle the issue, the study aimed at understanding the possible effect of Hong Kong minoritized students' experience of online participation on their engagement and identity. The rapid rise of online social media has strengthened civic engagement, and online social media is considered as a virtual platform that can enhance individuals' interest in civic affairs, attention to civic issues, and motivation of civic obligation to get involved in the civic process. And it also acts as a mediator between civic interest and engagement. And there are literature indicating that online social media use is a mediator between civic interest and civic engagement, and it is a reinforcement process. Actually, very little study is talking about the role of online social media in promoting or eroding online participation and civic engagement, specifically among Hong Kong minoritized students. So this study focuses on Hong Kong minoritized students who are classified as a group of students belonging to different ethnic minority groups. The minoritized refer to as the continuous social experience of marginalization experienced by ethnic minority students. The research question of the study is, how do minoritized students' civic activism of online participation relate to their civic awareness, self-perception of online participation, civic engagement, and identity? The research hypothesis is that minoritized students' civic activism of online participation is assumed to moderate the relationship between identity and civic engagement, self-perception, civic awareness of online participation, and civic engagement. The moderation model were built to test the hypothesis to understanding the moderating effect of civic activism of online participation with a variable OP2 on the relationship between self-perception, civic awareness of online participation, OP1, civic engagement, CE, and the identity, ID. There are two moderation models. In moderation model 1, OP2 is the moderator of the relationship between CI and CE, and the interaction of OP2 and CI is also included in the predictor of the moderation model. In moderation model 2, the OP2 is the moderator of the relationship between OP1 and CE, and the interaction between OP2 and OP1 is also included as a predictor in the moderation model. The statistical significance of the effect of interaction is examined to test for the moderation effect of OP2 and CI and OP2 and OP1 on the civic engagement by computing their partial R-square for the model. Partial R-square is actually the change of the R-square and the first order effect, and the latent variable variance, covariance, and residual variance are all estimated by the formula of the partial R-square. For the method and data collection, the target population of the study is minoritized students in the Form 1 to Form 6 classes of the secondary school in Hong Kong, and the Hong Kong minoritized students is actually a group of students belonging to the ethnic minority group, which form a very small population in the school. So, the purposeful sampling method is used as a sampling strategy to collect data from the 5 selected secondary schools which have a relatively high proportion of minoritized students. There are a total of 119 students participating in the study, and the distribution of the students with different minority background is indicated in the following table. According to the result, there are 7 dimensions within 3 types of measure, including honor, participation, identity, and civic engagement. The composite alpha of each dimension is higher than 0.7. That means the reliability score is high. According to the result of the moderation model 1 and 2, the hypotheses were confirmed by the significant partial R-square. In moderation model 1, it indicates an additional 2.8% of the variance of civic engagement in school and community can be explained by the interaction effect. So it suggests that the civic activism of honor participation negatively modulates the relationship between identity and civic engagement in the school and community. In moderation model 1, OP2 is the moderator influencing the relationship between CI and CE. This model is significant, and its partial R-square is 0.028. That is 2.8%, which is very small. So in this model, the minoritized student's identity and the honor participation differ depending on the individual student's civic activism of honor participation, and the moderating effect of the civic activism of honor participation can account for 2.8% of the variance of their civic engagement. And there is an interesting statistical artifact. The small effect size of the measure of partial R-square showed the variance explained by the interaction term of predictor and moderator in the outcome variable. And such a small effect size is actually a very meaningful and have a practical importance according to some of the study published in the literature. So, the result of the moderation model 1 indicated minoritized students frequently use the internet, expressing their opinion about civic issues online and discussing civic issues in social networks, may perceive Hong Kong and its people less favorably, and they may prefer to be keyboard warrior due to their feeling of empowerment and the concealment of their identity from local people during honor participation. And the result also implicate that the minoritized students have their own identity, that the enhancement of autonomy during the honor participation may empower them to be keyboard warrior rather than actual warrior for civic purpose. On the other hand, they may also be at risk for cyberbullying during honor participation that result in their low self-esteem and low level of engagement in the normal civic activity in school and community. Therefore, their civic activism of honor participation negatively modulate the relationship of their identity and civic engagement in the school and community. In moderation 2, the OP2 is the moderator influencing the relationship between OP1 and CE, and this model is significant, and their partial R-square is 0.077, that is 7.7%. So the moderation 2 revealed that 7.7% of the variance of civic engagement in community and school can be explained by the interaction effect between civic activism of honor participation and self-perception civic awareness of honor participation, and it is the evidence for the negative conditional effect of civic activism of online participation on the relationship. So the results indicate the consistent support for the moderating effect of civic activism of online participation on the relationship between identity and civic engagement in the school and community, and the self-perception and self-awareness of online participation and civic engagement in the school and community. So the moderation model 2 indicates that minoritized students using internet frequently to express civic opinion and discuss civic issues may less likely engage in the community and school civic activity. And the results support the claim of Civic and Crown that civic activism of online participation has significant impact on civic awareness, self-perception of online participation for initiating and enhancing its relationship with civic engagement. Minoritized students' civic activism of online participation erode their civic awareness and civic perception of online participation, leading to their decline in civic engagement in school and community. And this may involve with psychological issue of feeling empowered to be keyboard warrior to use internet for personal entertainment rather than civic purpose. So it may in turn be associated with the risk of cyberbullying due to the heavy use of online social media that may lead to psychological health problems such as social isolation, anxiety, and depression. In conclusion, because online social media has become a virtual platform that enables civic life in ethnic minority community, it is imperative to avoid the risk of cyberbullying. The guidance from parents and school need to be provided to minoritized students for using internet correctly to allow them to build and maintain good interpersonal relationships. Rather than routinely discussing civic issues, expressing civic opinion through online participation, minoritized students should be guided for how to use online social media to keep in touch with classmates, friends, and family. They are important for their harmonious civic engagement in school and community. Finally, this research raises an important issue about the role of online participation, the purpose, and such issue need further research as well as debate and discussion. And there are some limitations of the study. Firstly, it is a cross-sectional survey. The study based on the data collected in cross-sectional survey, so it restricts the inference about causality. Secondly, the sample size 419 of the study was small, and this small sample collected from 5 schools may provide a cluster structure with measurement nested in class level, but it is impossible to do multi-level analysis because the inter-class correlation was 0 and there were no variance at the class level. So the statistical analysis and modeling remained at the single-level model. Finally, I should gratefully acknowledge Professor Kennedy, Professor Lim, and Professor Law of the Education University of Hong Kong for their guidance and advice in this research. And also I should acknowledge the teacher and minoritized student of the secondary school in Hong Kong that participate in the survey for the data collection. Thank you for your attention. Any questions are welcome. Thank you very much.